Welcome students to the DBMS lecture series for BSc Physical Science second year. The main objectives of this lecture are to know the syllabus of DBMS, to know about the recommended books for this course. Lastly, we will do some introductory discussion on the database management system. So let's know about the syllabus and the books of this course. The subject code of the database management system course is COMP202TH. The syllabus of this course is divided into 4 units, and in the unit 1 we will learn about some introductory topics such as what is data, what is DBMS, characteristics of the database approach, what are the various data models, DBMS architecture, and data independence. Unit 2 is about the entity relationship model of DBMS. In this unit we will learn about what is entity, what are various entity types, what is the relationship between entities, SQL 99, schema definition, what are the various constraints that can be applied on the entities, and object modeling. Unit 3 is about relational data model. In this unit we will learn about the basics concepts of the relational data model. We will also learn about the relational constraints, relational algebra, and various SQL queries. Unit 4 is about the database design. In this unit we will learn about the relational mapping functional dependencies on ER and EER models, and after that we will discuss the normal forms from first normal form to the third normal form. These are few books which are recommended for this course. You can download these books from internet. Now the syllabus of the practical of DBMS lab. Here we will learn about the various DDL commands through which we will learn to create, alter, and drop table. We will also learn various DML commands such as select, update, delete, insert statements. We will also learn to use the various operators such as Boolean operators, comparison operators, arithmetic operators. We will also learn the use of aggregate functions, count, sum, average, min, max. We will also learn how to retrieve data from the multiple tables through joins. We will also learn nested select statements. We will also use the constraints such as any, in, contains, all, not in, not contains, exist, not exist, union, intersect, minus, etc. And in the end we will learn about how to group the data, how to arrange the data. Students, now let's start this course. Firstly, let's understand what is data. Data are meaningful facts that we want to keep record of. For example, the name, phone number, and the addresses of students in a class. Another example of data is the list of items in a shop. We can take another example such as the list of your favorite movies. When the related data is stored together, it becomes the database. For example, a few examples of the databases are the collection of students' data studying in a class. Another example is the record of books stored in a library. Another one is the record of the customers of a bank. Students, the database has some implicit properties. The first one is that the database represents some aspect of the real world. And the second one is the database is a logically coherent collection of data with some inherent meaning. And the third one is a database is designed, built, and populated with data for a specific purpose. It has an intended group of users and some preconceived applications in which these users are interested. Now let's understand these properties with the help of a simple example. To keep track of students' performance, we need to keep the record of the students. Through this record, we can take steps to improve the performance of a student. We can also check his previous performances. We can also find out the areas in which a particular student is weak or in the areas in which he is good at. Therefore, the database represents the real-world situations where the related data is stored together and this data is used for the specific purpose by the intended group of users. The size of the database, it can be very small or it can be very big. Also, the complexity, it can be simple or it can be very complex. For example, the database of students studying in a class is smaller in size and it is very simple. Whereas the record of the customers of a nationalized bank is very large in size and it will be a highly complex database. We can create the databases manually as well as through computer. The small databases such as the student record of a class is maintained manually in most of the cases, whereas the large databases such as the record of the customers of the bank is maintained through computers. We will study the computerized databases in this course. Now let's understand what is database management system. A database management system is a collection of programs which enable users to create and maintain a database. A DBMS is a specific software through which we can define, we can construct, we can manipulate, we can share the database among various users and applications. Now let's understand these points in detail. Firstly, defining a database. We know that the computer has no IQ, so we need to provide every information about the data we want to store in the computer. This information is known as metadata. This includes the data type, size, structure, the constraints on the data. We will discuss these things in detail in later lectures. Now the second point is the construction of database. It means to store the data on the permanent storage media such as hard disk or magnetic tape so that we can use the data in the future. The third point is the manipulation of data. It means to retrieve the data from the database according to the need of the user. It also includes updation of the data as per the user requirement. It also includes the deletion of the data from the database. Next point is sharing of data. The data is used by the various users through the various application program. So a DBMS should have the facility so that the data can be used by various users and it can be shared with various applications. Now let's understand the basic environment of DBMS. The user accesses the database by sending queries or requests for the data to the DBMS through various application softwares or programs. For example, when you want to search your result, you go to the website of the college and you enter your roll number. Then a request go to the DBMS and it search your roll number in the database and then will send the result back to you. DBMS also protect and maintain the data. It has features which protect the data against hardware and software malfunction. It also protects the data from the unauthorized or malicious access. We can easily understand the basic DBMS environment through this diagram. Here we can see at the top there are users or programmers and they are using the application programs to send queries to the database, and in the database this query is processed, and after that the software is retrieving the data from the storage database, and after that it is returning the result of the query back to the user through the application programs. Students, this is the end of lecture number 1 on DBMS. I hope you have enjoyed learning. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.